If you want to start an AI business but you don't know where to begin, this video can help you. This video is going to help you go from idea to action with some easy to follow practical steps. Keep watching because you're going to get a step-by-step action plan that you can actually use right now. So before we get started, can I ask one small favour? If you like what I do here, can you please hit the subscribe button? That keeps me energized to bring you more content. Thank you very much. Let's get into it. Let's begin with step number 1, which is the AI micro tool in 7 days system. Build a small focused AI tool or an app that solves one specific problem and start charging for it. If you want to start a simple AI business without building anything too complex, you could just start by creating a simple AI powered tool or an app so that you can actually solve one specific problem for a niche audience. If you actually struggle with picking an idea, you can actually begin by just identifying some super repetitive tasks that business owners are facing on a daily basis. This can be things like writing emails or summarizing documents and reports, or even just generating good, engaging social media content. So there you can just focus on something very practical that business owners will find some real value in. If you want to validate the demand, you can actually explore platforms like Product Hunt, which is a website where new tools or apps are actually launched. And you can just start by browsing trending products, so you can actually see what people are already using. So if you review the comments and the feedback on these websites like Product Hunt, you can identify gaps or any missing features. If you just focus on solving one small problem really well, you can actually stand out faster. If you avoid competing with the large platforms, you can actually move a bit quicker and test new ideas with less risk. So if you want to build your AI tool fairly quickly, you can use a no-code platform, so you can actually avoid any technical barriers. So you don't need any technical expertise to start doing this. If you don't know how to code, that's not a problem. You can use a website or an app like Bubble, which is a platform that lets you create web apps visually. And you can actually start by just selecting a simple template and editing it so that you can actually build your tool or your app without having any coding knowledge. So if you want to add some AI features to your app, you can use OpenAI, which provides models that generate text and automate tasks. And you can just start by connecting their API so that your tool or your app can actually process user input. If you combine these tools, you can actually create a working product in just a few days. If you keep your first version very simple, you can actually launch a bit faster as well and improve based on the feedback that you get. If you try to add too many features too early on to your software or your app, you may actually delay the progress. So if you want to structure your tool or your app in the proper way, you can actually follow a clear step-by-step process, so you actually stay focused and avoid any confusion. If you are ready, let me walk you through it so you can actually build it more efficiently. If you start by defining the input, you can actually decide what the user enters, such as text or even data, so you can actually guide the experience. If you then define the output, you can actually decide what results the AI should actually produce, so you can actually deliver some real value. If you connect the input to the AI system, you can actually automate the process so users get some instant results. Now, if you display the output very clearly on the app or the software, you can actually improve the usability as well. If you test the tool or the app for yourself, you can actually fix issues very early on. And if you just refine based on the feedback that you are getting for the app, you can actually improve the performance very quickly. So if you want to launch your tool or your app, you can actually create a simple website so you can explain your idea and help you start attracting some users. If you need a very quick solution, you can use Webflow, which allows you to design and publish websites. You can start by just choosing a simple template, so you can actually launch fairly quickly. If you write a clear headline, a benefit-driven headline, and just explain the real benefits that the tool or the app will provide the user, you can increase your conversions. So if you actually add some examples or some demos of how the app actually works, you can actually show users how your tool works and the benefits that they get and the problems that it can actually solve. If you include a sign-up form, you can start building an audience as well. If you keep your message very simple, you can actually communicate some real value much more effectively. So if you want to generate some income from doing this, you can actually set up a simple payment system so you can actually test if people are willing to actually pay for your tool or your app. If you need a reliable option, you can just use Stripe or even PayPal, which allows you to accept payments very securely. And you can start by just creating a simple product and just linking it to your website so users can subscribe to actually pay for the use of your tool. So if you offer a free trial, which is a good idea to do, you can actually encourage more users to try your tool or your app. If you keep your pricing very simple, you can actually test the different options very quickly. If you notice users paying, you can confirm that your idea has some real value. If you avoid delaying the monetization, you can actually build a sustainable startup a bit sooner. So if you would like to actually grow your AI tool or your app, you can focus on user feedback and continuous improvement. So you can actually increase the value over time. If you collect insights from users, you can actually understand what works and what actually needs some improvement with your software or your app. If you use tools like Hotjar, which tracks how users actually interact with your website, you can actually start by just installing it so you can see where users click and where they actually drop off. And if you actually improve the weak areas of your tool or your app, you can increase your user retention. If you add some features based on real demand, you can strengthen your product or your software tool. And if you just avoid guessing, you can actually build something that people actually want and that they will actually pay for. If you follow this type of system, step by step, you can actually turn a very simple idea into a profitable AI business. Let's now move on to step number 2, which is the niche AI automation agency strategy. Start by automating one simple business workflow and sell it as a repeatable service. If you want to start an AI business with some good income potential, you can start by just focusing on one niche and one automation so you can actually solve a clear business problem. If you struggle with choosing a niche, you can just start with industries like real estate or e-commerce or even coaches and consultants. So you can actually just target businesses that rely on repetitive tasks. So if you don't know what to actually automate, you can just look at workflows like lead follow-ups or even appointment bookings or customer support and service. So you can actually replace manual work with AI. If you want to research some real problems and some pain points, you can just explore LinkedIn, which is a platform where professionals share their challenges on a daily basis. And you could just search for posts to identify those pain points from those business owners. So if you choose one niche and one problem, you can actually stay very focused and deliver better results. If you avoid targeting everyone, you can position yourself as more of a specialist. If you want to build your first automation system, you can use simple tools, so you can actually create results very quickly without doing any coding. So if you need an AI engine, you can use ChatGPT. This is a platform that will help you to generate human-like responses. And you can start by just creating prompts, so you can actually automate replies or even content. If you want to connect different systems together, you can use Zapier, which will link different apps and automate workflows for you. So this will link different apps together. And you can just start by creating simple triggers and actions, so tasks will run automatically. Now, if you want to capture some leads, you can actually use Typeform, which collects user data through simple forms. And you can start by creating a simple form so you can actually gather some information. If you connect these different tools together, you can build a complete automation system, which you can actually sell at a later date. If you keep your setup very simple, you can launch much quicker and actually improve later on. So if you want a clear step-by-step system, let me walk you through it so you can actually build your first automation service. If you just start by choosing a niche, you can focus on a specific audience like real estate agents. So you can actually tailor your solution to a specific audience. If you identify one simple repetitive task like responding to new leads, you can define the exact problem that you can actually solve with your AI automation workflow. So if you then create a form using Typeform, you can then collect details so the system has input data. If you connect that form to Zapier, you can trigger some actions automatically when a form is submitted with Typeform. If you actually use ChatGPT, you can generate some personalized responses so leads get instant replies. If you then send the response to via email or even SMS, you can actually complete the automation. If you then test the full flow, you can actually ensure everything works very smoothly. If you want to present your service professionally, what you can do is you can create a simple website so you can actually explain your offer very clearly to potential business owners or clients that want to work with you. If you need an easy builder, you can actually use Card, which allows you to create a one-page website, and you can start by just selecting a simple template so you can actually launch fairly quickly. If you actually write a very clear headline like automate your lead replies in minutes, so you want to put a real solid benefit in your headline to actually attract that attention. You can communicate value very quickly on your website. If you include some examples or even some case studies, you can actually build that trust as well. If you then add a contact form to your website, you can actually collect leads directly from your website like names and emails. If you keep your message very simple, you can actually increase the conversions as well. So if you want to get your first clients, you can reach out directly so you can actually validate your service very quickly. If you use LinkedIn, for example, you can actually search for business owners in your niche and then just send them some short messages so that you can introduce your solution for the problem that they've got. If you actually prefer another type of approach, you can actually join communities or even groups where your ideal audience is actually active, so you can actually just engage naturally with them there. So if you actually offer a free demo, you can actually show the value of your AI automation workflow and how it can help them. If you focus on solving one problem, you can make your offer much more appealing. If you avoid long explanations, you can keep your messages very clear and much more effective. So if you want to start to generate some income from doing this, you could just package your automation as a monthly service, so you can actually create some recurring revenue in the process. Now, if you do need a payment system, you can use Stripe, which allows you to accept payments more securely. And you can actually start by creating a subscription plan so clients can pay you on a monthly basis for your AI automation workflow. Now, if you price your service based on the value and the outcomes and the results that it provides, like saving time or something like that, you can actually justify higher rates. If your automation saves your business's time or even helps them increase their leads, you can highlight those results as well. Now, if you start with a simple pricing model, you can just test and adjust easily as you go along. So if you want to improve your AI workflow system, you can just track the performance, so you can actually optimize the results over time. If you use tools like Google Analytics, you can actually monitor the user activity and you can see what actually works. If you review the feedback that you get from clients, you can identify any areas that need to improve. If you then refine your automation, you can actually increase the efficiency and the value that you provide. So if you focus on those results and those outcomes, you can actually retain clients for longer. If you ignore the feedback that you get, you may actually miss opportunities to actually grow. If you want to scale this into a full AI business, you can turn your service into a product so that you can serve more users. Now, if you notice repeated processes, you can actually build a tool that automates them so you can actually reduce the manual work. So if you actually use no-code platforms like Bubble, you can actually create a very simple digital product without having any coding knowledge. And you can start by just turning your workflow into a user-friendly interface. If you focus on one strong feature, you can actually keep development very simple. If you avoid adding any unnecessary complexity, you can scale a bit faster as well. And if you follow this type of strategy, step by step, you can actually build a profitable AI business from a simple AI automation service. Let's now move on to step number 3, which is the public data AI startup method. Build an AI business by using existing public data sources to create useful insights, tools, or even summaries that people already need. If you want to start an AI business without getting ideas, you can begin by using public data sources, so you can actually build something valuable from existing data instead of trying to invent the demand. So if you struggle with ideas, you can explore data sets on Kaggle, which is a website where real-world data sets are actually shared. And you can start by just searching topics like business or health or even marketing, so you can find structured information that you can turn into tools or even useful apps. So if you want even broader data, you can use Google Dataset Search, which helps you to find publicly available datasets online. And you can start by just typing in keywords so you can discover data that others are already actually publishing. So if you focus on one dataset type, you can turn raw information into something very useful like summaries, dashboards, or even AI explanations. If you avoid random ideas and stick to structured data, you can build faster and more reliably as well. So if you want to turn data into a product, you could start by identifying what people actually struggle to understand, so you can convert complex information and data into simple AI outputs. If you find a data set with repeated updates, you can build a simple tool or an app that basically summarizes or explains it daily, so users actually save some time. Now, if you want to build fairly quickly, you can use ChatGPT, which will generate explanations, summaries, and insights from the text. And you can just start by pasting some raw dataset content, so you can actually transform it into a readable output. Now, if you want more advanced AI integration here, you can use OpenAI, which provides APIs for building automated data processing tools. And you can start by just connecting it to structured inputs, so that your system can generate insights automatically for you. So if you focus on one transformation like data to simple answer, you can actually create a strong foundation for a digital product. If you want to structure your AI data product, you can follow a clear pipeline, so you can turn raw information and data into usable outputs step by step. Now, if you are ready, let me walk you through it so you can actually build it out in the proper way. If you actually start by selecting one data set, you can avoid complexity and stay focused on one problem area. If you then clean and organize the data, you can remove the noise that the AI produces, and the AI will produce better results for you. If you connect the cleaned data to an AI model, you can generate summaries or even predictions so that users get instant insights. If you then display the results in a simple format, you can actually improve the usability and the understanding. If you test the outputs very early, you can actually fix inaccuracies before actually scaling. If you want to build your first version of this tool or this app, you can use no-code and low-code platforms, so you can actually launch fairly quickly without having any advanced programming skills at all. Now, if you need a flexible builder, you can use Bubble, which lets you create web applications visually. And you can start by just using simple templates, so you can build interfaces fairly quickly. Now, if you want to connect APIs, you can use Zapier, which will link different apps together for you. And you can just start by creating simple workflows, so data moves automatically between different systems. Now, if you combine these tools with AI APIs, you can actually create a working digital product in a short period of time. If you keep the interface fairly simple, you can focus on delivering good insights instead of building unnecessary features. If you want to distribute your data-based AI tool, you can just publish it as a free utility, so you can actually attract users who already need information. Now, if you actually use GitHub, you can share a simple version of your project so that developers or users can actually test it. And you can start by just uploading a basic version so you can get some real feedback from other users. Now, if you want a wider audience, you can share your tool on online forums like Reddit or even in relevant communities, so you can actually reach users who are interested in data or even automation. So if you just focus on the usefulness instead of promotion, you're going to find that users are more likely to share your tool more naturally. If you avoid over marketing your tool, you can build credibility and organic growth at the same time. If you want to monetize your AI data startup, you can just turn insights into premium features, so you can actually generate some income from advanced usage. So if you need payments, you can use Stripe, which allows you to accept subscriptions and one-time payments. And you can just start by creating a simple pricing model so that users can upgrade for more features. If you offer real-time updates, deeper insights, or even exportable reports, you can actually justify paid tiers as well. Now, if users rely on your tool for decision making, you can actually increase the perceived value. If you delay monetization too long, you may miss some early revenue opportunities, even with active users. If you want to scale your public data AI business, you can actually expand into multiple data sets, so you can actually serve different use cases without changing your core system. Now, if you track the user behavior using tools like Google Analytics, you can see which insights are most valuable, so you can actually improve your product. And if you continuously refine the data quality and the output clarity, you can increase the retention and the trust that you get. If you turn raw public data into simple, actionable AI tools, you can build a scalable AI business startup that delivers some real good value without needing to actually invent any new demand. Wow, that's it for this one. Now, if you're ready to stop spinning your wheels and start building your own online business and creating new income streams, take the next step now. Click the link below in the description or in the top pinned comment, where you can find some free guides and some free resources to help you get started right away with building your new digital business and income. These free resources will teach you step by step how to actually set up and create your own digital business and new online income streams as well. So I know these free resources will be very helpful for you. So don't wait, take action today. You can go and click the link below in the description and the pinned comment and start your journey right now. And thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to like and subscribe to the channel for new videos. It really does energize me to create more videos for you. Thank you very much indeed. And if you want to connect on social, you can find me on LinkedIn and Instagram. The links are in the description below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a wonderful day.